Bang, no, let's go. I'm pumped.
That's right, Riley Moss. Bang, let's go.
Bang, no, let's go. I'm pumped.
I am pumped too. I'm so excited. I got to be honest with you. I already recorded this show, and then I went back and I had technical issues, and it pisses me off. So I have to redo it. Oh, that hasn't happened in years. I swear to God, honey, it's the first time. This never happened to me. Anyway, I am excited, so excited for the Denver Broncos. So much so, I think we need to do it. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump into sports.
He's walked the hallowed grounds of Folsom Field, Coors Field, and Mile High Stadium.
He runs with the 50. He runs with the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes.
It's time for sports with DeHuff.
Well, before we jump into the AFC and NFC Championship games, which I'm so excited about, I do have some NFL news that is going to change a little bit of the landscape for the NFL next season. The Kansas City Chiefs agreed to terms to bring back Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator. Obviously, I have a special place in my heart for Eric Bieniemy. He's a former, just legendary running back for the University of Colorado, the CU Buffs. But obviously, now he again is working for the enemy with the Kansas City Chiefs. But he's a great coach. Last year, Bieniemy was the running backs coach for the Chicago Bears. Now he's going back to the Chiefs, who had a terrible year, in case you didn't know. Listen, if you're a Broncos fan, you knew. You knew. The Chiefs finished second with the second worst record in the AFC West. They only had 6 wins. So Bieniemy's replacing Matt Nagy, the Chiefs OC, for the past 3 seasons. Does this fix the Kansas City Chiefs? I know Patrick Mahomes is excited about it. He tweeted out, a bunch of strong arms flexing the emojis. He's excited. I think it's good for the team. Like I said, Bieniemy's a great coach, great offensive coordinator. Is it going to make them, into, nipping at the heels of the Denver Broncos? I don't think so. But I think it at least boosts the competitiveness of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be pumped up about it. But I don't see it where the Chiefs are going to be like, well, we rearranged some coaches and now we're going to be awesome again. Well, I think there's a lot more going on with the Chiefs than just bringing back Eric Bieniemy. But I think ultimately it's a move in the right direction for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a great track record with Bieniemy, and to bring him back is great. Bieniemy, by the way, I know there's a lot of people saying that he should be a head coach, and he's constantly getting fucked over on that. I've heard a lot of things behind the scenes that he just rubs people the wrong way. And going back to what I've said numerous times, especially in regards to Vance Joseph, there's nothing wrong with being a great coordinator, a legendary coordinator. You don't have to be a head coach. And maybe that's the thing with Bieniemy. Maybe one day he will be, but I don't think there's anything wrong with him being a phenomenal offensive coordinator. But, congratulations to Bieniemy. I hope you lose every game next season. Okay? Sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. Looking at the NFC Championship, we're going to start with that one. The Seattle Seahawks are hosting the LA Rams. Seattle's defense is going to be a problem for Mathew Stafford and crew. I didn't realize that they're nicknamed the Dark Side. I don't know why I hadn't heard. Maybe it's not as cool as Legion of Boom, because that's a freaking phenomenal nickname, Legion of Boom. Kind of like No Fly Zone. 2 great nicknames for great defenses. The Dark Side, I almost feel like you're trying too much to be cool. We're like, we're bad boys. We're amazing. We're going to hurt you. We're like the Dark Side. Right? I don't know. Anyway, I do know this. Sam Darnold versus Mathew Stafford. It should be a good game, but ultimately, I'm leaning towards the Seahawks. partly because watching the Rams in the wild card game, they barely beat the Panthers. And then they barely beat the Bears in the divisional round. Now, the Seahawks beat the snot out of the 49ers. The 49ers were heavily damaged going into that game. And they're literally riding the coattails of Christian McCaffrey. So part of me goes, well, maybe that game is, a little misleading. But ultimately, deep down in my gut, I'm thinking, if I were to put money on it, I'm putting money on the Seahawks to go in there and just slap the shit out of the Rams. So that's what I'm going to say. I got the Rams losing to the Seahawks, and Seattle is going to advance to Super Bowl 60. Now looking at the AFC Championship, obviously it's the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots at Mile High. It's going to be cold. It's going to be right around 20 degrees, low 20s at kickoff. Keep in mind, Broncos country, kickoff is at 1 p.m. this Sunday. Not 2, not 2:30, 1 p.m. Don't know why. It's irritating. You think they would have consulted with Broncos country. Come on. We play at 2 or 2:30. Not this 1 o'clock horse shit. But anyway, it's gonna be cold. Small chance of snow last time I saw from Chris Bianchi on social media. So with the brutal cold, that's going to be a challenge, but it's something that both teams have to deal with, okay? The obvious big challenge for this game is the fact that Bo Nix is out with his broken ankle. Jarrett Stidham is going to be slinging the rock for the Broncos. By the way, if you haven't done this and you're a Broncos fan, shame on you. Shame on you. The Stidham Sunglasses earbuds meme is going around, spreading like wildfire through Broncos country. I did it to my Twitter account and I think on my Facebook personal page where it's just him in sunglasses, earbuds, whatever. And I changed that as my profile pictures. That's what a lot of us Broncos country are doing. So if you haven't done it, all I have to say is, why do you hate Stiddy so much? What's wrong with you? I'm seeing it. It's cool though, because like I'm posting stuff on Twitter and then my small little brain gets confused because there's all these people responding and they have the same profile picture as me. I'm like, wait, huh? Wait, which one's mine? Which one's mine? I think that's cool. I think a lot of Broncos country is behind Stiddy and believes in Stiddy. I was listening to Mosier, Lombardi, and Kane on Altitude 92.5 this morning, and Vic Lombardi brought up something really a good way to look at it. A lot of us going into this game, Bo gets hurt on Saturday night. Going into Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday, it's like oh no, we're done. We're done. And then as the days move on, you hear more and more about Jarrett Stidham. You see his highlights, you hear the testimonials from people, and you're like, as you get closer to game day, the confidence is boosting. Now, part of that could be coaches blowing smoke up our back ends. That's always a possibility. I mean, what do you expect coaches to come out and say? Be like, well, Nix is hurt. We're fucked. I guess we're just going to go out there on Sunday and play the Patriots. And you know what? Whatever happens, guys, ice cream's on me. Okay? That's not going to happen. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to sit there and go, well, fuck, we're screwed because Stidham's at the helm. No. Like I was saying, like Vic brought up the point of like, the more time goes on, the more it's just like, yeah, the Broncos, they're in this still. There's no reason why they can't win this game. Let's flash back to 2015 season. 2016 was the year for the playoffs when the Broncos ended up going to Super Bowl 50 and beating the Carolina Panthers. Keep in mind, that was one of the worst years for Peyton Manning because he was broken. There was just something broke in him. Whatever it might be, he was still a phenomenal leader. He got benched in the season. The Broncos defense put everybody on their back and said, no. Okay, we got this. We got this. Just don't do anything crazy, but we got this. Now, part of the reason why that worked, that formula worked, was the Broncos defense was all about the no-fly zone, all about turnovers. Okay? They were ball hawks back there. If the Broncos secondary can start doing that, amping that up, because let's be honest, they did a great job against the Bills. They started doing that near the end of the season as well. If they can keep that up, maybe amp it up a little bit more, yeah, absolutely, they got this. Anybody that's freaking out about Jarrett Stidham being the quarterback for the Broncos in the AFC Championship, I mean, you're just leaning on the side of negativity and not bothering to educate yourself. Or you're a Patriots fan, and that's fine. Or you're a Bills fan, still pissed off that the refs called that Jaquan McMillan interception a pick instead of a catch. Okay, you're still pissy about that. Shit happens. Move on. Broncos, they got this. Let's hear from Sean Payton talking with the media yesterday about Jarrett Stidham.
That's his personality. Like, he's going to rip it. He's got this calm demeanor that I think suits him well. He's played in big games, college. You know, I said this at the start of the season. I felt like our 2 was inside the best 32. And I think everyone feels that way, but that's why that sign was important. And you don't know when it's happening. I'm glad that acquisition took place.
Yeah. I mean, shit happens. He fought for Stiddy, and that could pay off. Could pay off. That was like the first guy he brought in once Payton took over. And like I said, it's not like Sean Payton's going to go out there and say, well, we're just going to go out there and try. I mean, our hands are tied behind our back, but we're going to go out there. We're not going to give up. Who knows? Maybe we'll score. I don't know. He's not going to do that. That would be a terrible coach. There's something about a good leader that even when you get punched in the face, that is willing to stand tall and say, no, we're not done. No. How many times have you seen that throughout this season with the Denver Broncos? They get punched in the face, and through great leadership, 1, by Sean Payton, and 2, the guys on the field, Bo Nix and others, saying, no, we're not done. Forget that. No, we're going to move forward. And they punch back. So, yeah, I believe in the Denver Broncos. I believe in Jarrett Stidham. Here's Stidham talking with the media, talking about, how does he get in the flow of all these reps?
I mean, reps are obviously everything, but, we practice full speed here. That's one thing that I love about Sean. And, I was fortunate whenever I played in New England for Bill, it was the same way. Like, you try to make practice as hard as possible. That way Sunday it's not a shock. So that's how we practice here, and that's how we'll always practice.
Yeah. Yes. I like it. Live bullets, essentially. He's saying they practice hard. I like that mentality, because that way when you get into the game, it's not as chaotic. You're like, we've seen this shit. You know who I was talking to a long time ago when I used to work with Scott Hastings? He was telling me that the practices for the bad boy Detroit Pistons were like that, where he said the practices were a lot more aggressive, a lot more intense than the game. So once they got into the game, it was almost, a little bit more relaxing. Sounds like that's the way the Broncos have been doing it. And listen, why would you change anything? If that's what's been working, you go with it. And shit's not going to change up. They're going to continue as is with the game plan. One of the cool things that you're starting to see spill out is because there's so many people. And to be honest, the biggest news from the championship weekend is that Jarrett Stidham is going to be the quarterback for the Broncos, a guy that hasn't had a regular season start in years and has only started 4 games. So that's the biggest news. So here's a former teammate of his when he was on the Raiders, because Stidham used to be on the Raiders. Here's Maxx Crosby, who's currently a Raider. I'm just saying. Denver looks mighty nice, Max. Anyway, here's Crosby on Jim Gray's podcast, Let's Go, talking about Jarrett Stidham.
He's tough as hell. I got to go against him in practice all the time because he was a scout look quarterback. We got into it all the time because you know me, I can't help myself. I'm hitting the backup quarterbacks every time. Like, I hit our starting quarterback sometimes and I get sent out of practice, especially the backups. I get into a fight with them every year. So Stidham, the one thing I respected most about him is that he didn't back down. Denver did a great job by bringing him in. He's not just going to go in there and play it safe. Like, he's going to go out there and play quarterback and try to help them win the game. They already have a top defense. They already have a good running game. They got a good O-line. He just needs to be himself. Don't go out there trying not to lose. You got to go out there and let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. Just like Sean Payton said, let it rip. I will say this, though. He did say they got a good running game. I don't. That is the Broncos' Achilles heel. When I look at the Broncos' offense, I don't have really. The only thing I have concerns about with Stidham is rust. That's it. And he's got a full week of practice to knock off that rust. The stuff that worries me in Crosby, I think he was just, in a complimentary flow. He said, oh, they got a good running game. I don't think the Broncos do have a good running game. They have a running game, but it's not good. I wouldn't even say it's okay. We'll get into the run game here in just a little bit. Alex Smith, former quarterback, had his time as a backup and a starter. He knows the routine. He knows football. He knows the quarterback position. Here's him talking about Jarrett Stidham.
Right? Like, if you think Sean Payton or the Denver Broncos are going to blink in this situation, you are crazy. Did you almost see in his press conference? I mean, heartbroken for Bo Nix. There was almost a little smirk on Sean Payton's face. Like,
Watch out. Watch. Just watch.
He literally said it. Watch out.
That's
You're going to
Payton.
find out. And listen, that is him.
That is him.
This isn't his first rodeo with the backup quarterback. He has a history of success with backup quarterbacks. I got a list of them, just to name a couple. Jameis Winston went 5-2 with Sean Payton. Teddy Bridgewater went 5-1. And again, you think if the game plan is not going to change.
Exactly. It's not going to change. There might be a few packages here and there that might be, added or subtracted based on skill level and comfortability. But ultimately, I imagine it's going to be, why would you change it? That's the smart way to do things. If you have a backup quarterback, it should be somewhat similar to your starting quarterback. That way you don't have to modify the offense. It's like the people that were bitching and complaining that Phillip Rivers was they called him up to replace what's his nuts that got hurt. And they're like, oh, like mostly Cam Newton was bitching that he's like, they should have called me. Well, you're not the same type of quarterback. And you're not used to running this particular offense. Yes, you could probably learn it, but ultimately they didn't have time for that. Did that process work out for the Colts? No, but I fully believe that they made the right choice. Especially when you go, would you rather have Cam Newton? Yes, Cam Newton's a lot more athletic, a lot better shape than Phillip Rivers. I just think ultimately it made more sense to go with Phillip Rivers in that situation. So those are the things that you got to look at with this Broncos game. Is Stidham is very similar to Bo Nix. Yes, Stidham lost the starting gig to Bo Nix. And then a lot of people are like, well, if Payton believes that Stidham could be a starting quarterback with another team, then why isn't he? fair question. He's just not. And I think there's something about where maybe Stiddy just likes where he's at, likes the atmosphere of the Denver Broncos, likes the idea that, he can help Nix grow into something special. I don't know. But I don't see Stidham as a liability for the Denver Broncos. I believe in Stidham. I believe in Sean Payton. I believe in the Denver Broncos defense. I believe in Will Lutz. I believe in Broncos country and that you are going to bring the noise and you're going to mess with the heads of the New England Patriots just like you did with the Buffalo Bills, and it's going to pay off. I believe in the Denver Broncos, and I believe the Broncos are going to punch the Patriots in the mouth. I do. Talking to Cody Rourke, or listening to Cody Rourke, I should say, of Mile High Sports, he brought up that in Wednesday's practice, Broncos are going to practice again today. There was limited participation by Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin. That's good news. There's no guarantee that they're going to play on Sunday, but the fact that they're on the field and they want to participate, that is some great news. Franklin had the hammy and Pat had the concussion, so this is good news that they're moving forward. Again, who knows if they're going to play. The hamstring one is really, you can get cleared for concussion and be good to go. The hamstring, that one can kind of linger. Concussion, you're either good or you're not. Troy Franklin could think he's good to go, and then he tweaks it, and then he's out for the game. Either way, it's good to see that they're both wanting to be out there. That's what I would expect from every single person on the Denver Broncos roster, is they desperately want to play. They desperately want to help the team achieve greatness and beat the Patriots. JK Dobbins making an appearance in practice, and according to Cody Rourke, that Dobbins looks good. Here's the thing, but there's, just like with the other guys, there's no guarantee that Dobbins is going to play. And even if Dobbins does play, I'm not sure that he's going to be the Dobbins of earlier in the season when he was phenomenal. It's possible, but there's a good, he's coming off of a nasty injury. The Liz Frank had surgery. So I don't know if he's going to be that productive. And part of me is, I guess I get that, and we just heard from Stidham saying that the Broncos, they go all out essentially in the practice. They practice hard and intense, right? They do. But that's practice. I know they say that. It's still practice. You don't have somebody on the defensive side wanting to kill you or hitting you, and it's making you plant your foot in a way that is trying to get you to escape versus the practice. Like, you're not having an opponent trying to shatter you into little pieces. They're not. That's the difference. Because in a live game, you're going to be a lot more aggressive with your footwork versus practice. So I don't know if he even plays for the Broncos, or two, if he does, if he's going to be very productive. Fingers crossed he is. Fingers crossed JK Dobbins suits up and plays for the Broncos and just lights it up, and the Broncos win. That's the way I'm looking at it. Looking at the Patriots' offensive side of things, Drake Maye, he's been struggling, quote unquote, struggling in the postseason. Didn't have a very good game last week. And a lot of people are like, well, he'll just bounce back against Denver. Oh, against the Denver Broncos defense? Oh, suck a fat one. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I don't see him getting any better against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos fucked with Josh Allen. And no offense to Drake Maye, but he's not Josh Allen yet. Yeah, he might be. But, man, Drake, you're going to get punched in the mouth by the Denver defense. And that's what really needs to happen, to be honest. We were talking about it before. The Denver Broncos need to go in there and just start punching the Patriots, not literally. Don't be over there and be like, wow, I was listening to Huff Uncensored, Nick Benito or whatever. So I started punching people in the dick. No, don't do that. Nick, no. The point is, you go out there, you play hard from the beginning, and you play hard to the whistle. Hey, speaking of playing hard, Connery, now is not the time to interject. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about how I banged your mother last night. No. Anyway, the thing is, the Broncos, this is all leaning on the Denver Broncos defense. If they can shut down Drake Maye, yes, that's going to be great. That's going to be a huge advantage. If they can shut down the run game, which I don't believe, the Broncos' run defense was a little bit, that needs to get fixed, okay? I want to see the secondary continue to be ball hawks. I like it. Riley Moss, do your thing, man. I know, Riley. I know you're excited, Riley.
Bang, no, let's go. I'm pumped.
As am I. This is going to be Riley Moss as he gets an interception.
Bang! Bang! Come on, man. Bang!
Everybody's going to be like, stop, Riley. Jesus, you're just wrecking our shit. There's no reason why the Denver Broncos can't go in there, shut down the Patriots, and as long as Stidham is not turning the ball over, Broncos got a shot, so much so that I would be willing to put $5 on it. I don't like to spend a lot of money, so $5. Okay, $5, and I got the Broncos winning. Or actually, how about this? I'll bet you a Taco Bell burrito. I'm not going to. I'm not going to bet. And if the Broncos don't win, I'm not buying a bunch of people a bunch of burritos. No. But here's the thing. I believe in the Broncos. Like I said, I believe in Sean Payton, Stidham. Yes, you name it. I believe in the Broncos. And it's not just me wearing orange-colored glasses. I don't think much has changed. I understand that might be a slap in the face to Bo Nix, who's been working his tail off. But ultimately, I don't think much has changed. Proof's in the pudding, though, I guess. We'll find out. So, yeah, to just put a bow on it, I got the Broncos beating the Patriots, advancing to Super Bowl 60 to take on the Seattle Seahawks. A rematch of Super Bowl 48. And, we'll go from there. We'll cross that bridge once we get there. But there you go. Let me know. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do the Broncos got a shot? Have you changed your profile picture to support Jarrett Stidham and the Denver Broncos? If you haven't, shame. Shame on you. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry if it was a little long-winded, but I'm excited for this game. There's a lot going into it. And really, when you look at the two games happening on Sunday, the game of the week again is going to be the Bronco game. All eyes are going to be glued on the Broncos and the offense. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Can't freaking wait. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you interact with the show. Comment wherever you're consuming this. If you can, give me your picks and how you see things playing out. If you're going to be a negative Nancy, that's fine. That's fine. Just know, if you're going to be a negative Nancy, people will respond. And it's usually not me. I just let everybody else fight the battles for me. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. Go Broncos. It's the Huff Uncensored. Talk to you next time.